Hello and welcome back to number 2 in a series of 4 short videos on cloud computing. My name is Ivanka Menken and The Art of Service is very proud to give you this 4th video series completely free because you're interested in cloud computing. Last video, as you know, was a short introduction into cloud computing and why service management is still very important for cloud computing, and this time we're going to dive a lot further into virtualization and software as a service. So I hope you enjoy this one. If there's anything that's confusing you, if there's anything that you don't understand or you just want to talk about in relation to cloud computing, email me, contact us directly and we'll open the conversation. Talk to you soon. Bye! Part 2 of our cloud computing introduction program. So as I said earlier, this is 2 out of 4. Last time we spoke about the introduction of cloud computing, the generic terminology around cloud computing, all the 4-letter acronyms, and today we're going to go a little bit further into virtualization as well as software as a service and how those two concepts support a lot of organizations in their cloud computing efforts. So to understand cloud computing, we need to understand the business. What is the reason for businesses to start working with cloud computing services? What is the reason for businesses that we even entertain the thought of having our data outside of our own data centers, of having our data outside of our own direct control? Why would we want to do that? I mean, there's obviously a lot of benefits into cloud computing, as we saw in the last short video, but there's also some things to really consider, not worry about, consider. Excuse me. So virtualization is seen by a lot of people as almost like the step up into cloud computing services. So the first step into trying to utilize cloud computing services is to start working with virtualization. Virtualize your servers, virtualize your desktops, virtualize hard drives. So create a virtual representation of the physical resource. So that is a really good way or it has proven to be a really good way for a lot of organizations to spread the load over various servers, various hard drives, etc. So it really increases the efficiency of your physical resources. So how does that fit in the cloud? So it enables 4 out of the 5 essential characteristics. It works with on-demand self-service. It has a concept of resource pooling. It works towards a rapid elasticity, and you have a measured service. So in this picture where you have a shared hardware, a host operating system, then your virtual machine monitor over the top, that's where you pull your resources, and you have a more elastic approach to hardware and software. So within the whole concept of cloud, and we talked about this the last time, where you have software as a service, business as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. In this particular picture, the bottom part, the light blue and the API, like the light purple, that would be part of your infrastructure as a service concept. Then when you include your integration and your middleware, that will be your platform as a service. And then the bigger box includes your applications or your software as a service component, and it turns into almost your entire business as a service model. So this is a concept or a way to almost illustrate how infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service work together towards your business as a service model. And your virtualization can take place at any of these levels. So the challenges, so we're now talking about software as a service specifically. There are a couple of challenges, and the challenges are in your surrounding technology, your surrounding infrastructure. Like, what are you going to do for your large file transfers? How are you going to do your backups? What about security? Because you no longer have your data stored on your own servers within your own realm of control. So what is going to happen to that data? How's it being backed up? How secure is it? What about privacy? Do we still comply with all our regulatory rules and regulations? So that's a challenge that as a business, remember how last time we said it all starts with the business. As a business, you need to consider whether or not this is a challenge you can overcome and whether or not this challenge outweighs the benefits of software as a service and cloud computing services. I just threw this in as a food for thought. So in order to take the most benefits or gain the most benefits out of cloud, you need to let go of a certain form of risk and loss aversion. With cloud computing, there's always an inherent risk. Having said that, keeping all your data stored in-house, there's also an inherent risk. It's just that we never sort of consider those risks, which comes into law number 4. People fear change. So have a read through. I'm not going through all 10 of them because you can read faster than I can speak. But these are the 10 laws that are considered or have to be considered in any cloud project, in any decision around software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. So then as a SaaS service or as a software as a service, if you are going to offer those services, you need to figure out how to utilize the benefits of concepts from service-oriented architecture as well as your web service design, because software as a service is delivered through the internet. It is delivered to clients over broadband or any type of internet-based networks. So how does that fit in within your own design? How can you design your websites? How can you design your applications in such a way that other clients can benefit from them? And that's where your APIs come into play as well, because your service needs to link in with other applications, other interfaces, other programs. So how compliant do you want it to be? How easy do you want it to be for your clients to link your service, your program, your application in with all the other programs? Do you want that to be an additional add-on service, for instance, that you provide the APIs, but that is something that is an add-on service and therefore is charged separately? Or do you provide that as a free service to stimulate more people to utilize your applications? Just something to think about. Again, this is a business decision. So as a business, how do you want to make use of this knowledge, this awareness that you currently have? And then virtualization in the cloud. Again, from a business perspective, when you start virtualization, whether it's internally or using virtualization concepts externally, how are you going to manage your networks? How are you going to manage your licenses? How are you going to manage your service levels? And don't forget about capacity management and capacity planning, because your hardware is utilized by a number of virtual clients, for lack of a better word. So how do you manage the capacity? How are you going to do that? Can you do an overflow into other virtual servers or virtual disks? How are you going to do that? So think about these concepts from a business perspective, because it's all about delivering business to your clients. So it is definitely a growing solution for your business application needs, but it's not a one-size-fits-all. Again, software as a service and virtualization support the benefits of cloud computing of increased speed, cost efficiency, control, equality, and agility and responsiveness. But be aware of those challenges and be aware of the license requirements, be aware of the business impact of software as a service. So again, This is a very high level overview of software as a service and virtualization. We go in a lot more detail in our specialist course, but this is just a quick 8-minute overview to give you, if only there's one thing that you take away from this, it is that decisions around software as a service and virtualizations have to be made from a business perspective. It has to support your business goals and business objectives. So thank you very much for your time. I'll see you next time. Bye.